What is going on? This is the Foot in the Door podcast. First, want to start out by saying welcome. This is the first episode, so I'm glad that you have the opportunity to listen in to your boy Caleb. So I just want to start off by letting you all know who I am. Some of you may know, but if this is your first time being introduced to me, my name is Caleb. I am 29 and I am a front end web developer. And if you do not know what that is, anytime you go on a website, whether it's on your phone or on your computer, what you see is what front end developers made, whether it's a search bar, whether it's a link that you click on, the different sections that go into a web page. That is what a front end developer builds. And that is what I do. And this podcast, Foot in the Door, is not just going to be about tech. This is more so for the inspired entrepreneur, those who are trying to create their own lane, not even just create their own lane, but maybe switch from whatever they are doing in life to what you actually have a passion for, what you want to do. And my background is uh, I do work, I don't work as a full time web developer or front end developer at the moment, but my goal is to transition to what I'm doing now, from what I'm doing now to doing that full time. And there are many people out there just like me that's not just in the tech field, but it could be anything. You know, you may be doing your job now just to pay the bills, and you might not even be getting paid bad. I mean, you might be getting paid good money. But the thing is, you want to do something that you enjoy, something that you love, and something that challenges you. Because once you do what you do for so long and you're not challenged by it and you don't necessarily love it, it does test you. It does sort of push you to figure out, okay, what is it that I want out of life? And this is a great segue for how I got into tech. See, where I am, I rose to the rank because of hard work. I started with no experience whatsoever. And after a few years, I became a master at what I do. Good enough to where I was able to train a few people. I trained one person over the course of 4 years, and my current trainee has been under me for about a year and a half. And after a while, it's like, okay, you at first you have the thrill of the challenge where you're not even sure if you can do it, but you get milestone after milestone, and it feels good. It genuinely feels good when you are knocking out tasks and learning stuff, and you seeing the rewards of it, and then you get to look in the mirror every day and say, man, I really did something good. I really did something good because I didn't know how to do this at first. There were instances where I had to find out on my own without really proper guidance, and I had to use what I knew and to figure out something that nobody really knew how to do. And that really feels good. But after a while, when those days become more few and far between, and you go to work and you don't have to really use your brain, you just go to work and you go on cruise control, and yeah, you do good work, you still do good work. It's not that you slack off, and it's not that you put out a lesser quality of work, but you do miss the thrill of the challenge. You do miss when you go to work and figure out, okay, am I going to conquer this today? Something that I've been trying to learn, trying to get, and I haven't quite gotten it yet. But am I going to be able to do this today? Is today that day where I overcome this challenge or overcome this obstacle and become this much better at what I do? So that is what led me to learning web development. I really wanted to challenge myself, and I really think that the field is something. I mean, I would encourage a lot of people to do, especially like my younger family members, where they're not sure what they want to do in life. A, it's a field that pays great, and B, it is a challenge. I thought what I was doing before was hard, but this right here, man, I have nothing but the utmost respect for anybody who does computer science, who has their degree in computer science and they code, whether it's an HTML, CSS, JavaScript, whatever type of framework, front end, back end, dealing with databases, dealing with server side languages, especially if you mess with something like Java. Man, I have not been able to crack that code, man. Java is something else. But I have been messing with some PHP, can't lie. And to me, it was a little more easy to grasp because you can write plain HTML in PHP. But yeah, like whoever embarks on that journey to do that and who's currently in the field right now, man, my hat goes off to you. I have nothing but the utmost respect because you do not become a web developer or a front end or back end by accident. There's a lot of hard work that has to happen before you get to where you are. And that's one thing about the field. You have to pick up the skill. Even if it takes long, everybody doesn't learn at the same speed. I know sometimes if I if I really wanted to, I could probably cram and get a lot done. But the way my life is set up, it's more feasible and a lot more. Well, it's a lot better for me to be more consistent and take smaller chunks at a time. That way, I'm not burning out myself. I mean, I have a wife and a child. I mean, I can't spend as much time as someone who doesn't have that many responsibilities. Maybe a single person would be able to dedicate 3 to 4 hours a day. You know, even if they do work a full time job like I do, but I have to be more careful with my time because like I said, I do have a wife, I do have a child, and they do come first before this. And that is a reality that many have to face, not even just trying to switch over to the tech field, but whatever field. It could be finance, it could be real estate. You have a certain amount of time that you need to commit in order to learn the craft, to become comfortable with what you're doing, and just to be able to say, okay, I'm ready to switch. And until you put those hours in, then you have to figure out a way to stay motivated and to keep learning and to not stop. Still doing what you want to do. And what I really want to do is become a full-time front-end web developer, which would eventually lead to more, because a lot of as competitive as the tech field is now, a lot of people are full stack, meaning not only do they do front end, but they also do the back end. Not only can they make web pages look good and very functional on that point, but they can also work with the data and the servers. They can do everything from point A to point B, from having nothing to having a fully functional site from scratch, where maybe you can have people, you can have users with login authentication. You can have data. You have e-commerce websites where you can do everything from the website. You can add items to a shopping cart, and you can check out all from the same site. And eventually that's what I want to do. But since the name of the podcast is Foot in the Door, I am trying to learn and do whatever I need to do now to do just that, to get my foot in the door. Because once I can commit to spending 8 hours a day on code, and I know that all 8 hours won't be sitting at the computer pecking at the keyboard. Yeah, you still may have meetings. You still have to plan how you're going to do it. No good developer just goes and turns on the computer and starts to code. You have to plan things out. You have to communicate with, if you have a client, you have to communicate with them on how they want their project done, and you just have to do a good job from there. And that is what I want to achieve. And I really believe that I can do it. This has been a tough hill to climb, but the higher I go, yes, the tougher it is, but the more I'm motivated, because I know that I am one step closer to getting where I want to get. And one of the driving forces behind this, I remember last year, it was around my birthday last year. I was talking to my dad and I was talking about it, building websites, trying to get into the tech field, still trying to get into the tech field. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And he said, in order to advance, you must take a chance. And what I got out of that is, in order to get where I need to be, I need not just to take a chance as far as risking everything, but I really need to give it an honest shot. And a lot of us who are looking to switch careers, we can be comfortable because we have a steady source of income and the income may be decent at that. And it makes us comfortable to the point where we may pursue, but we may halfway pursue what our dream is. We may halfway pursue because at the end of the day, we don't want to give up the our guaranteed salaries. We may have been in our careers for more than 5 years. And when you're talking about that and you have a family to feed, it does become intimidating and daunting to think that, okay, I'm going to put all of these hours and days, weeks, and months in, and at in some cases even years in, and I'm going to switch, and I'm going to start from scratch, and I'm going to start from zero. And when you truly take the chance, when you truly commit, I believe that the only way that it would be worth it to do that is if you give it your all. You don't want to put everything on the line by giving a half of an effort. You want to give it everything you got, because one thing for sure, for most people, if they give it what they got, if you give it what you got, rest assured, then you will be qualified for what you're trying to do. It's going to take time. It's going to take the effort. And that's what we need to do. So I know this is short. This is very short. I just wanted to get the podcast started. I was really passionate about it. The name came fairly quickly, foot in the door. I mean, we all can relate to that. And we're all just trying to get our foot in the door. So thank you. If you knew me before, thank you. If this is your first time knowing who I am, thank you for listening. And please subscribe to the podcast so that whenever I drop a new one, you will be the first one to get it, and share it with your friends too, especially those who are in the same position as we are. I'm trying to get a foot in the door, trying to make a change, and it's worth it. So from me to you, peace out.